Hello everyone and welcome to Total War Through the Ages. In this episode we are going to finish off the Carthaginian settlement of Tingi, as well as capture Massilia. Now, the siege for Tingi we're going to be auto-resolving because it's a very straightforward battle. And, oh, by the way, I was training up some archers, and I'm sending an army to conquer the last of the Carthaginian cities. Well, about to be the last, as soon as I capture the Tingi, which will happen in just a few moments. And we're going to be sending these legionaries over to support the forces at Massilia, even though they won't get there quite in time for that. But they will be there in time to help out later on. And we're going to continue just cranking out legionaries here because I want to keep the momentum that we've established in these last couple episodes. I want to keep this momentum going. So here's the siege, and it's very, very straightforward, a very easy siege. I just auto-resolve because it's so overwhelmingly in my favor. They have barely any forces, and I'm like, I don't want to take the time to do it, so our army's good, more than good enough, so we just auto-resolve and exterminate the populace, of course, because you kill people to make them like you. And then we got a lot of repairs to do, as well as some demolishing of some temples. But here we have the army in the north, which we're continuing. We're nearing the settlement. That is our target. And I actually kind of contemplated about going for the one to the left, but I decided to go straight for the one directly above us. But here is the siege of Massilia, which is going to be the main meat of this episode later on. But we actually have quite a bit to do with the campaign, which I haven't done in a while. I've been focusing a lot more on just putting the battles in and kind of glancing over the campaign element. So this episode, and I believe next episode, will both probably be focusing a little bit more on the campaign. So here we have a new mission from the Senate. I've never actually seen this mission before. It's secure the surrender of the Gauls. So I have a diplomat way up here in the north, so I'm going to start sending him down to try and complete that mission. I'm not even sure exactly what I have to do, but we're going to find out. And then we have this army coming here to capture, which is now the last Carthaginian settlement, which I'm really excited about, but we're going to send some reinforcements that way, which is what we're building up here. I want to send some reinforcements in because I don't feel confident. The Carthaginians have a very large army. It is their last settlement, and I also don't have a general in the army, so I want to kind of do overwhelming numbers since I won't actually have a general commanding, and that'll be a bit of a disadvantage. So here we have the legionaries coming to assist in the Massilia siege. They will actually be the ones assisting in the siege. The plan is I'll take some of the cavalry out of the main army because the main army is all too close to full at this point to support all those units, but we'll just trade them out because cavalry aren't that very useful in sieges. Now for this one we're going to bypass that Britain army just because I don't want to I want to try and capture the settlement before our army kind of bleeds out from having a lot of smaller engagements, so I don't want to lose too many casualties. And here we're going to have a larger force escorting, and I don't know why, but moving those units out actually increased the happiness of the settlement. I have no idea why. I do not understand how happiness works in Rome Total War. But unfortunately, our faction leader did die. That's some tragic news. But and of course we're having riots in Tingi because we just captured it, and they don't like us. But thankfully, that should the unrest should subside a bit once we finish off the Carthaginians entirely. At least that's what I think. That's how I think it works. That's how it works in a lot of games. Not necessarily Total War games, but a lot of games, usually once the people will be unhappy while there is still while there's actually still hope that their faction can reclaim. But once you've eliminated the faction entirely, usually they just kind of will be a little more happy. So what we could do here is I move the 4 cavalry units that I have in this army. I move all the cavalry units. It's 5. I move all of them out to basically make room for the legionaries. And again, this is because cavalry are not very useful in sieges, really. I haven't found that they've been particularly useful. I mean, I guess they are kind of useful if you're defending, because you can, in theory, sally out and attack the enemy in the open. But if you're attacking in a siege, it's really not very helpful at all. So I was contemplating sending them back over to the settlement to the far right that I had to replenish them, but I ended up keeping them here because once I capture Massilia, I can just move those units into Massilia and replenish them there, because I'm pretty sure Massilia has the facilities to do that. So I skipped the deployment just because, for the sake of time. In fact, I actually edited this battle out a lot because it took a long time. Just because, you know, in sieges, for some reason, in Rome Total War, the layout of the cities is really weird, so you have to walk a long ways to get to the center, depending where you're attacking from. So here we have the basic setup. We have 3 rams in the main assault, just going for the gate and the walls, and then we have 1 ram that's being pushed by some of our mercenaries, and the 2 Praetorian units over on to kind of do a flanking force over. It's actually right there at the very top of the screen. You can kind of see slightly to the left of the center of the screen. But they're over that way, and they're going to be the flanking force because the majority, because I actually didn't know what the AI was going to do, so I did this to kind of maybe try and spread the AI out, but I didn't want to spread out too much. But they actually concentrated their forces in the center of the town. So I kind of skipped ahead. We already breached the gate over here. I'm going to rush this unit of legionaries in to catch out that small unit of Britons that are like, I have no idea what they're doing. They were like, we're going to defend the walls. Wait, no, we're not. We're going to go back to the center, but oops, too late. You waited until after the gates were breached and I was inside, so you're all gonna die. And then we have over here the warband. I was thinking about just charging into the gate, but I remember how that did not work so well in the earlier episodes of this series, so I instead pick up the ram again and continue on my way over to try and make a secondary breach. Now this actually ends up being a kind of a waste of time because that unit of Britons ends up moving later on in the battle. So they basically abandoned the position of the gate, which I'm okay with, you know, hey, but obviously in hindsight, yeah, you know, I couldn't have known they'd done that. So here, I skipped ahead again, the Briton unit has already left their position, and so I tell the mercenaries, ditch the ram, we're just going through the gate since the unit's not there anymore to stop us, and we're going to send the Praetorians and this unit of warband around the left to flank all the way around and come in from the far side of the town center. And here we're pushing up. Now, I actually made a mistake here. I kind of edited it out for the sake of time, but I sent half my main force on to the left of the main gate, thinking that there would be a way to get to the town center from over there, where there isn't. In fact, you have to go to the right of the main gate and head over this way in order to get to the town center. Don't ask me why it is, but you literally cannot get to the town center from the left side over there. So, in fact, yeah, there's only 2 entrances to the town center. This back way over here, where the Praetorians are heading, and then the location over by where basically where the big temple is, or is it the temple? No, I think it's actually the Colosseum. No, it is the temple, right there, the temple. This way over here. Those are the only 2 ways to get into the town center in Massilia. So I have no idea why that is, but I basically have half my army really close to the center. The Praetorians are kind of close, and then this is the other half of my army. That is, well, not quite half, but the other big force of my army, and they are just way far away. But I have them on their way here, but it just takes them a long time, and that's another reason why I edited down this video a lot, because there was just a lot of me walking, because I didn't want to rush in and lose half my army, you know, and I wanted to be fairly cautious, so I did take my time with this. And as you see, I also sped up the gameplay quite a bit because again, I'm just waiting for people to march into position, not even anything going on. But though they do, some of their units rally in the center and they sally back out to get beat again. You know, a little questionable, but I won't question it. I guess questionable, but I won't question it. Either way, here we have the Praetorians moving up, and if you notice, I don't have my all my Triarii on Auxilia. I just have sitting back. I just have them basically right by the walls. This is because they're not going to be as effective against in the enclosed street fighting, or I mean, I guess they could be in theory. But the point is that I don't want to waste my Triarii and Auxilia against enemy infantry when I have plenty of swordsmen who can do the fighting, and they'll be far more effective in fighting the enemy swordsmen than the spearmen will. So I just kind of didn't want to waste the soldiers there, and you know, that's more units I have to replenish, particularly the Triarii, because they're getting very rare now since I can no longer train them actually. And here we have a big, the first wave of our guys. This is a decent chunk of our army is getting engaged here. I have my general charge in. I go ahead and have the Praetorians and these mercenaries basically double time it. because I want to go ahead and get them in faster as that flanking force, because the main force kind of engaged it a little bit early, but overall it doesn't go too bad. We kill the enemy general here, though there is one tragic thing that is going to happen fairly soon. You will probably guess what it is. Our general is unfortunately killed in this battle, and that really sucks. Oh wait, hold on. I actually might be wrong. I think our general dies here, but I'm not quite sure. Actually, because I might be thinking of a different battle. Huh, well, we shall see. I'm pretty sure that our general died in the siege, but we will find out in just a moment. It will happen. If it happens, it will happen fairly soon. So, here we are. We have, yep, there we go. Our general did die. So I was right. Our general did die, but it doesn't really matter. Though that does make a couple of our units begin to waver. But thankfully the Praetorians are getting here just in time, and I wasn't that worried about losing this battle because I did still have quite a few units left. But since our general did die, and I only had like half of my force engaged, or a little over half, some of our units did start to rout, and so I was a little bit worried that I might be able to, but Praetorians came in, mopped up, not really that big of a problem. Well, actually, I guess our warband, our mercenaries charge in here first. The Praetorians are a little bit behind them, but actually just the mercenaries charging in there is enough to cause the enemies to start routing, or no, sorry, I said that wrong again, not quite yet. So yeah, our Praetorians get in. I don't even think our Praetorians get to engage. Either way, we mop up very handily, and there's the end of that battle, and the end of this episode. So, we have finally retaken Massilia once again! It's like, this is the one, the Britons and I are having a tug-of-war match over Massilia of who gets to own. It's like, it's mine, it's theirs, it's mine, it's theirs. But, anyway, this is all the time we have for this episode. So, be sure to check back for more Total War Through the Ages, released on every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, assuming I have my act together. And, thank you all for watching, and till next time. That intro is not the best. I'm still working on it. I'll get it right one of these days. I will get it right one of these days. Maybe. We'll see.